In a very technical sense, once you start using an HDRI, you don't really need any other lighting components. The HDRI should provide all the lighting you need, but sometimes you just kind of want to focus things or highlight things. And when you do, that's where the other type of light I said I would talk about comes in, the Maya directional light. The Maya directional light is a lovely light because it is so simple to use. It's just a bunch of arrows, and the arrows run in a direction, so right now they're pointing that way. That's the way the light is going. As I take them and rotate them, the light will move in the direction the lights are pointing. This is a great way to create little extra highlights in your scene. So if the insect's face was maybe a little bit in shadow, this is going to add to the light. It's going to increase the light. It can also help emphasize the shadows. Sometimes with HDRIs, shadows get a little bit blurry or a little bit fuzzy. So having one of these directional lights will help with that. It does not matter where the directional light is in the scene physically. It really doesn't. It can be here, it can be here. It'll cast the same amount of light in the same direction. The only thing that matters with the directional light is the direction the arrows are pointing in. That is it. So really simple to use. If you look at it in the attribute editor, you will see that just like the point light, it's got color and intensity. So if I wanted this to be maybe just a smidge greenish, I could make it maybe just a smidge greenish. Again, I only ever want to affect hue and saturation. I don't want to change intensity. But there, now it's a smidge greenish. And if I wanted to, I could have it have a stronger effect. I could type in a 2. You don't generally want to go too heavy with directional lights because they don't account for perspectival distortion. They only cast straight. But a little bit of intensity might help just spike up the visual interest in the scene. So, if you want to try it, go for it. So I'll add that there. And again, that is create lights, directional light. You just angle it in the direction you want, adjust its color and intensity, and you're good to go. So the last thing I'm going to do is head back into my rendering editors, render settings. And again, if you were looking to make a really nice large image, you would go to the Common tab and change the image size. I recommend HD 1080. But the thing that I'm going to do is go to Arnold Renderer and adjust my camera AA settings. The camera AA settings for this are going to have to be pretty high because I'm using a blur effect and because I'm using the human skin shader, which does have a tendency towards graininess. So I think with the previous render with the lantern, I had like 7 AA settings. I'm going to try that here and we'll see if I need to increase. And again, having started this rendering, I'm not going to make you watch the whole thing. I do anticipate that it is going to take longer than a minute. So I will pause here and I'll bring you back when this render is done. Okay, I am back. Here we were with no blur, and that took 14 seconds. This was with the blur, it took 16 seconds. This one I turned up to 7 AA samples. This took 1 minute 17, but I think it looks a lot better than this. And then I went ahead and I turned the AA settings all the way up to 9, and I do think that this is probably my best bet for the amount of time it took. That was 2 minutes and 4 seconds. So assuming that I'm happy with the light and the angle and all that other stuff, I can go ahead and file, save image. This is going to go to, again, my project directory images folder, and we'll just call this one insect metal because this one is the metal one, and say save. And then we will consider this project also to be all done.